Yeah. Hey, yo, mates, they nasty. Question. Yo, ring got gold in it. Everything that I bring got gold in it. Ay, my jeans got gold in it. My jersey 19 got gold in it. Ay, my hat got gold in it. What's the name on the back got gold in it. Ay, my whole style got gold in it. Wear that towel if the thing got gold in it. Do it got gold in it? It do. It got gold in it. It do. It got gold in it. We got gold in it. It do. We got gold in it. It do. We got gold in it. Got gold on my seat. When I walk, got gold on my feet. Mace, got gold on the beat. Cause the plaque got gold when I speak. I'm a go-getter, so don't flow sicker. Especially when she throw it back like a flea flicker. Yo, got gold coming down. Gold on my teeth, you can see it on my crown. Man, I'm grown, tell them leave me alone. I got gold cover, tell them watch the throne.
Live. O.M.G. On My Grind Radio with your host, Dion Dupree, CEO of Grindway Music Worldwide. I did remember this time. We got a special guest today, man. Let me get to, our special guest right here, man. We got my man King Frzy in the building. Frzy, you got a day.
I got a day,
Pittsburgh.
man. I got a holiday name. It's crazy, man.
Yes. Let's get into it, man. Welcome to On My Grind Radio,
man. Appreciate it. Honored, man.
So, let's tell us about who is Frzy.
Man, just as an artist on his way to being the best to ever do it.
Okay.
Somebody focused on the craft and the art of music and the art of hip hop. And being a brand and knowing that my tongue's not going to work forever.
Right.
And making sure that while it does work, people are talking about me. When it stops working, people can't forget.
Nice.
I think that's always the goal with being an artist and understanding that from anywhere you're from, but knowing that Pittsburgh is my world, but it is not the world. And trying to make sure that I do things to leave a legacy.
Dope. So I had.
I love when you make that face.
Yeah,
I know it's coming.
Man, I had a screenshot sent to me earlier today. That was from the Button Pusher. Shout out to Button Pusher.
Shout out to Button, man.
You know what I'm saying? But she's been out here doing her thing for a very long time.
Yes.
And she sent a screenshot of an interview that she did with a guy named O.M.G. Freestyle.
Wow, man. It was crazy. Oh, you know what? It's weird when I tell people, like, my name used to be Freestyle. Because people still call me Free, like my friends call me. But like now, I'm Frzy, but Frzy was always my AKA. But yeah, I was freestyle just because I could freestyle that well, and I was that. For me, I was like, yeah, I'm that good at freestyle, and that's gonna be my name. And it wasn't until I got my demo deal with Sony that they were like, yo, freestyle's too common of a word. Like, no matter how famous you get, Googling it's gonna be very difficult.
Right.
Let's go with your AKA. And so we went with Frzy. I spell it differently, but I remember that scene with Buttons. I remember till this day, she's a legend, especially in the city, but I was so excited to sit down with her. I had been wanting to interview her so bad. And I remember when she came out there, I had my little green hoodie on, I had the hood up. I was like, haircut was fresh. I had just got some new sunglasses from the guys down in East Liberty by David's.
Right. Right.
Remember David's out
David's.
here?
David's shoes in East Liberty.
Come on.
Yes.
So oh man, but those are the times that are humbling. And you remember the people who supported you and were with you in the beginning and understood and saw something in me that was like, he's standing out. This is like me. I think this is maybe right before I was about to battle Wiz.
Okay.
Yep.
So you battled Wiz?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people don't know that story. Me and Wiz have a very complicated relationship.
Talk about it.
And I actually have it on VHS tape. That might have to be like a Grand Mode exclusive. I might have to slide through that VHS to accidentally leak out. But yeah, that's where I come from. I come from the essence of battle. Before Smack and all them, when they used to put on a beat and give you a subject, and we had to rap about whatever was in front of us,
right?
And rap about each other. And me and Wiz used to we were part of the same program at the Shadow.
Okay.
Back then, and that's how we got into rapping, and then we started spending time at ID Labs. Back when ID Labs was one room in the lobby, which you know about that.
Right.
in Lawrenceville. And we used to have to battle as an art. But we did this battle. I want to say it was in Homewood. I think it was in Homewood at like when the Coliseum, I think it was like first opening up. And it was like, we had the battles on VHS. I won, I made it to the next round. He lost. I remember he lost and got mad and left. And people were like, there was like a rule if you lost, you couldn't leave.
Right.
And he left. And then, from there it got weird. But, then me and him got the same offer from the Warner Brothers deal. And that's when I shot the Subway commercial. When I became the face of Subway Melt.
Keep the mic and I won't delay. Get back, y'all. Move out of my way. Playing my cards with the hand I was dealt. Sending out a shout to the Subway Melt.
Got a craving? Get to Subway restaurants and satisfy it with our huge selection of mouth-watering sandwiches, like the tasty chicken and bacon ranch, the piled high turkey and ham, or the delectable Subway Melt. No matter what you're craving, Subway restaurants can satisfy it. Subway, eat fresh.
I missed that meeting, and he took that meeting, and he got offered the deal. So, it's always been very interesting. I mean, nothing but respect for each other when we see each other, absolutely. But, we're not like holding hands.
Right.
We're cooking in the same kitchen.
Right.
We both eat, but we ain't cooking in the same kitchen.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to kind of highlight is you started your career with freestyle, right?
Yes. Yep.
So talk about the importance. Why was that something that you felt the lane to hop in?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of critique when it comes to freestyle.
Yes.
And there's a lot of misconception of what that actually is.
Oh my gosh!
So get
especially
into it
now, man. Well, it's practice, right? It's the art of what I always learned. I always was taught that you practice how you play,
right?
And knowing and being able to do something creatively off the top of your mind that is not designed. Right. So being able to be the person that makes the blueprint and own the building. So you have these artists nowadays that are scared to even go down that street of freestyling because they're like, I just need something to be prepared, and then they always want to look good. And it's like, well, if you practice all the time, if you freestyle on your own all the time, you're always going to look good. You're always going to be. So it's kind of like carrying a loaded gun with you at all times. Like, why would you want to, it's cool to have a clip with you and it's cool to have a gun, and you got to take it out and load it up. And we all ain't John Wick out here, right? So it's about making sure that you're always ready to shoot at all times. So for me, it was important. If I'm if I'm gonna be the best in this rap game, I gotta be able to do it from every angle. I gotta be able to write, record, perform, freestyle off the top of the dome, freestyle for objects and subjects. Because at that point, you never run out of creativity,
right? Because
you can literally create whatever's around you. It's fun. Why would you not? You're in ciphers with people, but that used to show off the elite from the obsolete. We used to spend days. Me and Chef would talk about it outside of the Shadow Lounge, battling in the snow. And this is when everybody was out there, and Bud was out there, Akil was out there.
Right.
I'm young. I'm still young, but I was a little dude, trying to just get my place in that circle. But I knew if I could freestyle and come off the top and rap about what you got on and put it together, people would actually was like, oh, he's actually really freestyling. Then it doesn't matter how good you write. So I used to say to people, when I freestyle, I'm the best in the world. When I write, I'm the best that ever exists.
Okay. All right. So talk about the difference between rapping a written verse as a freestyle versus coming off the top of the head as a freestyle.
That's not a freestyle.
Talk to me.
You know what I mean? When you write something down and you then perform it, just because I didn't hear it before doesn't make it a free. It's not a freestyle. You're not freestyling. You're just.
Y'all hear this, people?
You know what I mean?
Y'all hear this, people?
I'm looking at the camera.
Go
That's
ahead.
not stop cheat. That's cheating. You're cheating.
Speak on it.
Right? So it's like, listen, if you write it down, just tell me you wrote it down. You can say this is never before seen, this is never before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So imagine in any other profession, no one gets away with that. Right? You can't go to the movies and the dude's like, oh, here's a trailer. I freestyled this trailer.
Right.
You prepared it, you edited it together, there's music and sound and shit. There's, you know what I mean? CG, everything. That's the thing about it too. Or somebody's like, that's like literally somebody saying, I'm a beast, I can draw anything, and then they trace. Okay, you're a good tracer, that's great, you stayed in the lines, but you're not drawing that out of nowhere, you're tracing. So, and that's still a craft in itself, and it's great to be a good writer, and don't get me wrong, but don't say that until you see these people, and this is what happens, especially in the age of YouTube. You see these dudes on the radio, and on Sway or on Hot 97, and they're in this new hot Meat Meal freestyle, and he's spitting oh my gosh, he's murdered. It's a verse he already had prepared that you have never heard before. And it's dope, but he's not coming off the top of that.
Right.
Or they get it, or a lot of these people don't know that these radio stations will give a lot of these artists a beat ahead of time. And be like, yo, I'm gonna have you come on and you know, I'm gonna have you spit over this lock beat.
Right.
Give it to them 3 days ahead of time. That way they can write something or
Get prepared for
get
it.
prepared. So then when they on there and they spit, you like, oh my gosh, he's still going.
Right.
No, why do you think he knows when the beat drops? And
Right.
He knows when, you know, so it's like, but those are the type of artists that, yes, you're hot, but you will never be better than somebody who can actually freestyle and write. So now I can do both of what you can do.
Right.
So on the day when we get into the studio, let's say I walk in, and which happens is you walk into the studio with some of these execs, and they play a beat for you, and they're like, what would you do with this? We got somebody that want to do this, but they want to hear what would you do? You can't be like, let me just look through my phone to see what beat matches BPM. And
Right.
You got to come off the top and be creative. So let's not skip steps and run past corners. Like it's not.
And I appreciate you speaking on the differentiation, because a lot of people don't understand that differentiation. And for me, you know, I'm a fan of the culture, so I've always been a fan. So I'm able to, you know, tap into those times and those moments when, you know, cats like KRS was really freestyling.
Come on,
and then
man.
you had cats, you know, who would say they was freestyling, but their whole crew knew the ad-libs.
Come on, right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wait a minute now, you know what I mean? So
right, and those have been battles.
Right, exactly. So, you know, again, I think the analogy of, you know, tracing the art, you know what I mean, is an actual excellent way to kind of put that out there. Now, I personally don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not tagged appropriate.
Just don't call it that.
Right, it's not tagged appropriate.
Exactly, right. So I think we fall into that now, even with the rappers, the mumble rappers, right? With their auto-tune and stuff, which is fine, that's great, but just don't put it into, don't be like, oh, he got bars. He doesn't really have bars. He's a performer, he's an entertainer, or maybe we should put them in a subcategory. I don't look at J. Cole the same way I look at Post Malone. Right, that's not, I don't consider him a rapper in comparison to somebody like a Kendrick or like a Drake, or even, you know, some of these other new artists that are coming out that are actually spitting. So you're right, it's you have to put these things in the right categories and be comfortable in the category you're in.
So one of the things I want to kind of shed a little bit of light on is, you know, a lot of people feel like in order to be successful in Pittsburgh, you have to leave Pittsburgh.
Right.
You have to get out of here, and you got to go do this, and you got to do that, because Pittsburgh don't support this, and Pittsburgh don't do that. There's no this here, there's no that here. And I am 100% a walking testament to the fact that good art get supported. Period. Point blank, bottom line. Exactly. And I can speak, and that's the reason why I wanted you to speak on that. Because I do see you being one of the few successful artists.
Thank you.
I mean, that come up from that Shadow Lounge era, the purest hip hop era.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. And not have to be transplanted into a different situation in order to find your success. Can you explain that journey for us, please?
Absolutely, man. And just to give people, I was literally talking to Shelly about this on the phone, right? I see myself, just to set it up, I see myself as an asteroid, right? And an asteroid doesn't have to hit the whole Earth to destroy it, right? So, let's say where the asteroid hits is Pittsburgh.
Right.
That asteroid hits Pittsburgh, and the debris and the ricochet from that explosion can destroy the world.
Right.
If you hit hard enough and you do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter where you're at, it's going to happen. A new era is born every day. So it doesn't matter how dope I am, it's going to always be someone's first time hearing me. So I gotta make sure everything I do has the same impact as the biggest thing I do. So now it's like, okay, I'm in this city. I remember coming up, I'm in this city. Everybody's chic most of the time. Because a lot of these artists will just follow whoever's hot.
Right. The trend, the popular trend.
The popular trend, or like
wave riders.
Come on, right? Or I'm going to stay on my block.
Right.
So if I'm the hottest on my block, I'm running the city. Like this is right. And then they never leave that circle. And we were talking about how you expect to be the hottest in the game if you don't even want to leave the neighborhood that your mom's paying rent in.
Right.
Right. So now you have to not only then be like, okay, how can I get everybody in this city to talk about me? And this means, and this is something I figured out a long time ago, that not everybody's a hip hop fan. So now I'm thinking about everybody that hears.
Right.
Forget about just the ones that come to the shows at, you know, at the South Side, or come to the Rex, or come to the Shadow Lounge. I need everybody. So if you're not a hip hop fan, I'm gonna make you a hip hop fan, because no matter what anybody says, at one point in time, everybody wasn't a hip hop fan.
Right.
You had to listen to somebody the first time and be like, oh, I really like this. KRS-One, Jay-Z, Ho, 50. You had to listen to somebody like, whoa, I really like this type of music. This is hip hop. That means that anybody can be transferred. to become a hip hop fan.
Okay.
Do it the right way. So I knew, okay.
So why is that a major contributing factor to why hip hop is the greatest or the most expensive? I mean, not expensive, but the most lucrative genre of music.
It absolutely is.
Okay.
Right, because hip hop is not only. I feel like hip hop is like flubber in a way, right? It's water. It can be adapted to any container you put it into, as long as it's done right.
Right.
And as long as you're okay, you can't skip the process. I am in love with the process and in love with the journey so much that like that is fun for me. Missions are fun. So I sat there like, okay, I love it now because I'm in this position now where I'm on TV, I'm billboards, I'm doing all this stuff, and people looking, they're like, you know what I'm saying, we out here at Mr. Smalls, you ain't doing shows in the city here. I've been did that.
Right.
I did that before you were even, you know what I mean, out here rocking. Like, don't forget, they're like, oh, well, you ain't did Kiki. I was on Lambo with Kiki and them, you know what I mean? Ray Love, everybody back in the day.
Right.
And you had to call in. You had the freestyle live on the air, she would give you a topic.
Right.
And then people would call in and vote. And I remember I was the first artist ever retired off of that because I won 8 weeks in a row. Kiki was like, yo, you can't keep having, no one's going to call in if you keep. And it was like, okay, I got that now. Right. Now, how do we get to the B94s and 100.7? Because I'm on here and I'm hearing Jay-Z's music on these pop stations, which means they'll play hip-hop if it's the right type of music.
Right.
Okay, when I record, I mean, make sure I can do my street version and cuss, but I need to have a clean version as well, right? I gotta have these packs to give to the DJs, right? And make sure that they understand. If I gotta build relationships with these DJs, gotta build relationships with these owners and these CEOs. Why I'm not gonna waste my time? Like, a lot of people are like, well, I got a friend that like he waiter at the place where I just want to be friends with CEOs. That's what my Rolodex would be because I don't want to talk to anybody else that has to ask for a yes.
Right.
So okay, so now I'm gonna dominate the city so much that everyone else in the city is pushing me out. Like Fry's amazing, like, and then I represent the city well. And then I do nothing but make it easier for other people. So my journey.
How did you get to that place? Because I think that a lot of artists, a lot of people who get involved in music, I think they need to hear how you got there. Like,
it was interesting for me, man, because I started to make sure that I was working with people that had an arm reach outside the city. So I didn't have to like run around and chase people. But I kind of got a little advantage because my first manager, whose management was in New York. So when I got my name and my buzz here, got my management in New York, and then was working with Desert Storm with Fabulous, Paul Kane, Joe Button, Clue. Like I was around them all the time in New York City and Ajax and learned. I would go to the radio stations and go stuff, but like Fabulous used to be really hard on me. I never forget when I was in New York. He was recording the Breathe video, and I was and I was at the studio. I'm hype. I'm like, ooh, I get to go to the Breathe photo shoot. This is gonna be dope. And he's like, oh, you're not going. You in the studio. You got work to do. I'm like, but everybody going. He's like, oh you don't get. You got to earn that. So I used to have to stay in the studio while they was like popping bottles with chicks, and I'm in the studio like writing and recording. But I was in a space. I was in New York, and then they would send me to the Pyramid Club, and I have to battle against all these dudes. So I was like, but I always repped Pittsburgh. So I wasn't somewhere and trying to become something I wasn't. I was in a place where they didn't think Pittsburgh had hip hop. This is before Wiz Pops. This is right. So I'm out there like. I'm going to kill everybody. And having that mentality of like, I'm going to approach the challenges. I'm not going to wait for somebody to come to me. I'm going to do that. So I was in New York. I would do what I was doing. I would come back. This is before Instagram. This is before Facebook, right? I'm like, and then I noticed to myself, and I even still use this mentality to this day. And this is for people who think that they can only exist online or they can only get big enough while they're their followers. They don't care about what they do in person.
Right.
It's the people I look up to. Jay-Z is somebody I look up to. He was famous before social media existed, which means that it is possible to exist and become a big name with it. Social media is a tool to make it easier.
And do you know he's one of the few people who are not on social media?
And still the biggest rapper alive.
Exactly.
Right? So that has to tell you something that goes, okay, I can do this. Some people are like, I could just do it on the ground or I could do it in the air, right? Or I could do it in both.
Right.
Like, so why not own a plane and a car and a boat and a kite and a paper airplane? Like, however way y'all want to transfer, I'm going to own that. But knowing that, okay, I got a chance to go to New York, come back, and then I got my offers, and I started making sure, okay, I keep those conversations, building those relationships, calling people to check on them. Like there were CEOs and people I was cool with that I would just call to talk to.
Right.
I don't need something, right? Because a lot of times people are gonna stop answering the phone if every time you call you need something.
Right.
So just to call them and talk, hey, and then like update them. Sometimes just call. I still have relationships with CEOs now from other labels that are not with my label that I'm just like, hey, they're like, Frzy, what's going on? I'm like, I just did this and this. Oh man, congratulations, that's awesome. Blah blah blah. How are you doing? What's up with you? I even pray that way. When I pray to God, I ask him how he's doing.
Right.
What God, what have you been up to? What did you create in the universe that I'll never get a chance to see? Can you explain it to me? And tell me these things. Because they have to be addicted to knowledge and in love with the journey. And hoping that these artists understand that dominate where you are, be the asteroid, explode this city, and let the debris land in the rest of the world.
Nice. I mean, and I think, like, again, that insight is paramount. And to artists that's out here that's trying to figure out, you know, how to grind, like, this is the definition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's networking. It's being passionate. It's being deliberate. I've always told people music is intentional.
Yes.
It is intentional. It's not something that you accidentally fall upon.
No.
You have to put in the work. You have to put in the labor. You have to spend time in the studio.
Yes.
You have to spend time writing. I shared a story with an artist just the other day in regards to a conversation I had with Chevy Woods.
Okay.
In regards to his process,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, as we all know, him and Wiz came up along the same way, but at some point, Wiz ascended way higher.
They had a little more fuel. Yeah.
And,
right.
you know, Chev is still, you know,
Right.
doing his thing. But what he spoke on was the difference in preparation, right? So
right.
Wiz put a lot of energy and effort into his preparation.
Yes.
Down to the word.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you have to.
And some people just go in the booth and spend that hour, right? You know, boom, 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 I'm out. Go ahead, whip it up.
Right.
And he's like, wait a minute, that word isn't right. Say that word differently.
Exactly. Because that's the word that's going to change.
Exactly. And he taught him how, and a guy that I attribute to this phrase, because I mean, it is actually what it is, Achilles Soon, speaks on forensic recording. And, you know, as we know with the word forensics and science, and we look at, like, you know, CSI and all that stuff there with crime scene investigation, how they get down to the DNA, where there's no other possible outcome other than this.
Exactly.
And ultimately, you got to be able to have that same approach when it comes down to music and recording and actually putting your content together.
Oh my gosh, and that's what the prep is everything. These artists that think it's okay they think being in the studio is cool because it's a studio. Right? Like, this is.
I want to go to the stew. I want to go to the stew.
You know what I mean?
We go to stew
We out here
and light up and,
you know what I mean?
I'm going to block a 5-hour session
about
record for 10 minutes.
Right. We were just talking about that. Like, this is work. We're going to work. You know what I'm saying? So I got everything lined up. We got everything written how we want to write. I got this stuff memorized. So when I'm in there with the booth, especially, like, I'm blessed to be at a point now where I'm not having to spend money in the studio, right? But I still move like I am.
Right.
Because I remember when I was, and it was like, okay, I got an hour. I only got enough money for an hour. I got 3 songs to get. So now if I can write this out and get this timed out, I can do each song 15 minutes and still give myself 15 minutes of bathroom or fixing something if I want to, making sure I can bang it out in one take. And I used to find myself, I still do this now, where I can do it in one take, but I do 5 for options. Just in case I want to change the attitude or a little bit. But knowing that, okay, my enemies working harder than me.
Right.
They gotta prepare for me. So if I already know I can win the war and I still prepare, you understand how unstoppable I am at that point?
Right.
So like, let's go. Be smart. You don't have to have everybody, like, you know, everybody in the studio. It's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. You build a career, the friends will come. Trust me. Like,
exactly.
Even people you don't even know the names of will come.
Right.
But it's like, get in there, do some work, set an example for the people around you, and like that always says, if you're not successful with the people around you.
Well, let's talk about success. Let's talk about you know, your tenure to date.
Okay.
Definitely went through, you know, some situations. And you know, evolved into like a Pittsburgh entity now.
Man,
and we'll get into that. But I want to go to, like, just talk us through your process, like how you got to where you are now.
Man, it's been a great journey, you know. I always say I want to work so hard that when people find out about me, they feel stupid. Right? They got to go back and do research. Like, yo, you did what? You did? When did you do that? Right? And they got to figure it out.
Right.
So, you know, you want to and build that type of foundation and anything you stand in. I think in my career, for me, when I got the subway, I was doing things and I had a name for myself and was doing some shows.
Mm-hmm.
But when I became the face of the Subway Melt, that was really when my career took off. It was a national ad. That was me. It wasn't like I was like an actor or something. It was Frzy endorses this. I had posters all around Subway. But then from there, taking that momentum, taking the money that I made from that and reinvesting it for myself and really allowing myself to change and become a brand, not just a rapper, right? You know what I'm saying? And understanding that if I want to get bigger, I have to attach myself to these corporate entities, some of these, charities, things that like are bigger than myself,
right?
And then putting myself into it. So I know for myself, working on these records, dropping these new songs, staying consistent on it, learning the business, which you guys are teaching to a lot of artists now, which they need it. But also knowing that, okay, let's figure out how to get these radio plays, introducing myself to these DJs and doing a lot of these press interviews. Moved out to LA for a while and was working with Columbia Records. Then signed my deal with Mobile Moves, which was great. Got a new deal with Adidas, and was understanding that.
I was seeing a lot of stuff that you were doing when you were with Mobile Moves. I think they lined you up with like a Mercedes-Benz sponsorship, and you did a commercial.
I did a commercial with Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. Though he's not my management anymore, we really built something nice. And Mobile Moves became a brand. And then I was the Jay-Z of Mobile Moves. You know what I mean? So there was other artists that he was managing, but he was my Dame Dash, I was Jay, and it was just like we were just dominating the field consistently and making good music. I had released, me and him released I Style. I released I Style and I Style Part 2, which was a mixtape we put out for free. And that was really when I started shooting new music videos, and I became an MTV artist, which was great. And then I built my relationship with Viacom. They started playing the videos on TV, and I started to see that like Pittsburgh wasn't paying attention, and it was like, but the rest of the nation was. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I don't have to make them listen. Like, the rest of the world is reacting without Pittsburgh's cosign. But me personally, because I'm from here, I needed that. I was like, I want that. So I kept working and doing what I was doing and being bigger in the world and doing these, these sold out shows all around the world. But at the same time, I would come here and people wouldn't even really recognize me.
Know who you are. You walk down the street, nobody say nothing.
No one didn't say anything. It was humbling. It was like, I remember being in the subway with these dudes that talked about rapping, and they were like, oh, my boy rap, and they looked at me like, oh, you spit? And I'm like, and literally my poster is behind the, if they just turn and look, they can see me eating a Subway melt with the name Frzy on it. But a lot of people are blind to it. Like they just put on the go tunnel vision, they just want it to be their world. So I learned to just have to build that up, and next thing you know, my videos are out, and it was one of those things too where my videos were on so many YouTube channels that they weren't getting a lot of big numbers, but they were spinning on MTV countdowns and on, and stuff like that on TV. So I was still able to continue to move my career forward. I mean, even till now, I mean, last year, I had already done a lot of big things, a lot of TV stuff, but last year I won the Emmy and became the third rapper in history to ever win one, and be in a conversation with Common and Childish Gambino.
Talk about how that came. Talk about how does a Pittsburgh rapper that people in Pittsburgh do not know win a doggone Emmy?
And the Emmy goes to the sweater set.
Come on, baby!
Man, it's because the people who run things did know my name, right? The powers who did know my name, and I was in Boston speaking at Harvard Law.
Okay.
I got asked to come speak at these places about my success and who I was. And I was in Boston. I just did Berkeley. It was my third time doing Berkeley School of Music, and then I was getting ready to do Harvard. PBS, the head of PBS calls me, and PBS is located. A lot of people realize QED is in Pittsburgh, but PBS is in DC.
Right.
And PBS has a lot of different things under. QED is one of the most famous stations because of Mr. Rogers. But the PBS is a whole network.
Right. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
Oh, okay, yeah, you already know. So,
but speak to the people because this is the things that they need.
Yeah.
To know.
So I did. I'm in Boston. They give me a call. They're like, listen. Mr. Rogers' 50th anniversary is coming up, and we really want to pay homage to him. So we're asking different Pittsburgh celebrities. We reached out to Dan Marino, Michael Keaton. You're a Pittsburgh celebrity. We really would love for you to pay homage to him. And I was like, and this is what I'm talking about taking advantage of the moment.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, what are y'all doing? They're like, everybody's just singing "Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood." I'm like, well, can I redo it? Can I rap? Yeah, you just want to rap the lyrics. Like, no, I want to rewrite the whole thing. Can I get a producer to chop up the beat? And PBS is like, yeah, okay, we'll let you do it. That's cool. So I hit up Darren Grant, amazing producer, and I was recording over at Studio 84 with Sherrod Edwards, and they literally was like, cool. They sent me the sample, gave it to Darren. He chopped it up. Literally got it back to me the next day. Wrote it while I was in Boston. Literally flew back. We recorded it. They heard it, and they were like, okay, I was like, can we shoot a music video for it? They're like, yeah, we can do it in Studio A, which is the exact place where they shot Mr. Rogers.
Right.
Had everybody come out. Chevy came out.
Right. I've seen a lot of the B-roll.
Yeah, it was great, man. And everybody came out, and QED was there. We shot it, and it came out, and it broke a ratings record.
It was a great situation, right? Because once, QED reached out and I was able to talk to them, I hit up my boy Darren, one of the best producers I know. I asked him to really just not only remix the Neighbor song, but to give it its own flavor, but to also make it modern. And I just really kind of sat there and remembered some of my best memories from the show with the trolley, from X to Owl to King Friday, right? Those things that really stand out. And then I wanted to make sure that I echoed the fact that, yes, I remember you taking off the blue shoes and the red sweater that you're known for and the cardigan. That's why I had to go out and get mine, and things like that to really make sure that not only the listener remember that I can give them the nostalgia of Mr. Rogers, but also to pay respect to him and to know that though 50 years is way longer than I've existed, it's still a moment in time that I'll never forget. And if I do get a time machine, I'm going back there, quick.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? My neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. So we really gonna try this. F up. Yo, hey, it's a So let's take some time to celebrate this day. From the good weather to your red sweater. For 50 great years, nobody could do it better. Shoot, a celebration should go like this. I'll be there, cause it's Charlie something I won't miss. And Fred, permission to speak freely. As long as my delivery is better than Mick Feely. I know you see me in PPS. I wanna give a shout out to PBS. Cause as you lay to rest, you still the best. And when it comes to time, you pass that test. Woo! That I see every day. It was you, extra hour, King Friday. And even though you're blasting through the speakers, you're running through my mind. Good thing you wore blue sneakers. And the tie to match. You gave us a good feeling with a smile attached. So from me and QED, we tip our hats to a neighborhood and make believe. Imagine that. There's only one person in the world like you. And that's you. And the world knows it's true. So won't you be my neighbor as I spit this rap? Cause even though you're gone, through us, you're alive. 2 snaps.
They're like, yo, this is making noise. We wanna we got a convention in Vegas. We wanna play it in Vegas. See how it does. We got a PBS convention. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Play it on PBS. They play it in Vegas. They're like, yeah, we're gonna play it on the big TV thing in Vegas. I'm like, oh, I wish I was there.
Right.
It's great. 2 days later, they call me back. They're like, yo, it killed. It's amazing. Like, and no one can stop. Everybody's talking about it. We're going to put it up for your consideration. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Right.
I'm just trying to get the Grammy. I call them like, I don't know what that means. And they're so excited. Like, Fred, this is history. Like, no rapper in Pittsburgh has ever been nominated for an Emmy, let alone won an Emmy. And only Common and Childish Gambino have done it. And Childish Gambino did it because of ATL. So it wasn't even like a music thing. Common did it for a documentary. He'll be up for best performance in a TV series. I'm like, let's do it. And at the time, I'm like, it's cool. Like, I want the Grammy. I'm so focused on Grammys. I'm like, I get the Emmy. That's cool. But then as I started doing more research and stuff started sinking in, I'm like, yo, this is like
big.
This is big.
Right.
So they invite us to the Emmy party. I mean, I bring everybody. Like, we all go to the Emmy party. And I get there and I'm seeing just like all these celebrities, and at that point I'm realizing like, oh shit, if I don't win this, like, it's a lot of family here. Like, there's gonna be a lot of hugs for like next time, you know? That's like, I want this now. Got the nomination, I cried, and next thing you know, we're at the Emmys, man, and I remember sitting at that table, and I'm sitting with the CEO, Devin Ackland, who's amazing at QED, and she's so confident. She was like, you got this. I remember having my speech ready, and we won, man. We won, and I remember the crowd going crazy, right? And my mom was there, you know what I mean? And it was like, at that moment, I think at that moment for me, I got addicted to history. I'd always I love Achilles and Greek mythology. I always wanted to have my name remembered, but I was like, this is what, I was so focused on success. I was drunk off success, but then I bought a bar called History, and I was like, oh shit, this, in the record books forever, like, this is crazy. And to see Pittsburgh, then I came back home. It was before I even left, because then I was still in Boston when I got the call from Steve Madden. Right. About being, because a lot of people don't know I'm the face of Steve Madden. Like, I have a billboard in Times Square right now, and it was one of those things that was like, I didn't have to chase it.
A billboard in Times Square. For those of you who sit down with me, I tell you all the importance of advertising. Everything in this business is branding. When he's speaking on is his brand. And now they're advertising his brand.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, that's what happened. It was understanding that, of being like, okay, Steve Madden loves the way I look. They think I'm handsome. It's great. I'll run with that. Bring the lights in. Give me every mirror you can. But also they knew that my sound and my music and who I was pushing forward. And getting a chance to meet Steve, and I'll have to tell you that story because that story was insane.
We got time.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you that story. A lot of people. I want people to understand what you have to go through to get these things. Right. And nothing is guaranteed. Right. And you got to take it. Right. That's how I am with everything in front of me, and that's even how I am with my talent. Like, a lot of artists. One of my favorite lines is, I made a lot of niggas better that'll never be better than me. Right, so that understand, like, I'm going to support you. Same with Pittsburgh Hip Hop. I'm going to support you all day. If I can make your road easier, I am going to go out of my way to make sure that everyone in the world knows that this city is dominant. But I will destroy you. Right. We are not, at the end of the day, I want to be the best. I'm not sharing the throne. There's not enough room for two asses in one thing. You can stand with me if you want to.
Right.
But like, if we are artists and we working, but I hope that angers you, and I want you to go hard.
Right.
Too. That's the point.
It should
like,
encourage you to keep pushing.
That's what I'm saying. I want that. I want to have to be like, oh, the challenger. You know what I mean? Like that's the best part of. We're not doing story mode. This is arcade mode, baby. Like, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for the next challenger. That's the fun part. But the hope to inspire them to want to do more and understand it. Now, I realize that I don't have to. I no longer have to say where I'm from.
Right.
Now where I like. You saw with the Guinness stuff, right? There's articles all around the world, and they all say Pittsburgh in a whole bunch of different languages.
Right.
No matter what, people want to know who you are. Once again, I'm gonna keep my steady thing is gonna be this asteroid. It hits the Earth. The survivors, the first thing they do is try to figure out where the fuck it came from. And people will dedicate their lives. So if you do something big enough, if you do what you need to do on the right level, hard enough, people will work hard to find out where you're from.
Word. Let's talk about that. And I know for me, I used to go downtown to watch.
Right.
And then I got smart and said, you know what? It's too cold for that. I'm gonna watch it on TV. And then I got too busy to watch TV,
which is a good thing.
But you know, you still kind of miss some things.
That's true.
And then you come across that
that
moment where it's like, yo, that's my man.
Jean got gold in it. Everything that I bring got gold in it. Ay, my jean got gold in it. My jersey 19 got gold in it. Ay, my hat got gold in it. What's the name on the back got gold in it. Ay, my whole style got gold in it. With that towel, if the thing got gold in it, do it got gold in it. It do. It got gold in it. It do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, man. Doing the impossible, right? Doing the things that you've never seen an artist do, and being like, I'm going to make it something now. So now there's artists in the city that's their new goal. It's like, man, I would love to be on TV. I would love to be in a parade, and I would love to bring that's bringing hip hop to the masses.
Right.
Like you watch that clip, and there's camera switching of these old white men and old white women singing gold in it. They know the words to the song. Their kids are dancing in the middle of the parade and crying because we're shaking hands. This is all because of hip hop. This is culture. And it's like, I remember getting that call and building that relationships.
Right.
Building that relationship with WTAE and being like, listen, we're advertising it, but you got to also remember they have to feel safe and they have to feel okay with being like, we trust you.
Right.
We're going to do, because it's all politics. What is going to make us look better? But if I can make them also not only feel like, but be my family. Now they're family. Now WTAE, KDKA, all these stations here have my personal cell phone number. We're friends.
Right.
And it's like, you want to be, what's the best way to see the furthest? Be friends with the Giants.
Exactly.
Then they can put me on.
If I stand on the shoulders of giants, I can see further than the Giants.
Come on, man. Easily, right?
Yeah.
So enough to make the sun nervous.
Right.
And that's what we're doing out here now. So now it's like, instead of sitting there and being like, oh, okay, well, I saw this person do this, or I saw this person do this. Now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to do it better. I'm going to just do some shit they've never done before.
Right.
And now you have, because you know what? Everybody will tell you quickly, you can't do that. Like, that's crazy. They put their fears on you. You going to try that? Why you going to do that? But I realized a long time ago that if I do...
Speak on that. You just made a very powerful phrase because, you know, I deal with a lot of that myself.
I can imagine.
They put their what on you?
Their fears on you.
They put their fears. It's such a natural thing for somebody to tell you what you can't do because they ain't do it.
Right. And that's the craziest thing in the world because you've never done it either.
We are on the 49th floor of the U.S. Steel Tower in our conference room, interviewing Frzy.
Come on.
Our way.
Yep.
Because we didn't listen to everybody who said, oh, you can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So now, you gonna tell me, so somebody with no legs is telling me how to build steps.
Right.
You crazy?
Right.
I'll get you a ramp later, but you're not gonna tell me. I hate, that's one of the things, and that's something I do. I don't take advice from people who have never done it. And if they have a problem with that, then go do it and come back and talk to me later. Like, so put those fears on you. So I found out a long time, I'm like, but you know what? Okay, how do I stop this? How do I stop people from being like, yo, you can't do it, or like, he ain't gonna do it, or he can't, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, cool, I got you. Now, if I do something that's impossible, that you consider impossible, then that means you can't tell me I can't do it, because no one's ever failed.
Right.
No one's ever failed or succeeded at this thing. So if I do it now you can, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's where I was with everything I do, especially with the parade. Sit back and watching the parade for years and going down there with my family and not seeing anyone there that look like me or sound like me. Why can't I be that guy?
Right.
Because if that mentality doesn't exist, then nobody looks like it. Mm-hmm. He could have been like, I want to do it, but like, I'm too dark. Like, I should probably just run for Senate. Like, nah, let's do that. That's the fun part about it, is creating these situations, going somewhere where no doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. So talk about how you got gold in it, and because that's the record.
That's the record that like really blew up crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Comeback really did well. I think it's because when I got the Emmy, and the city named the day after me, mm-hmm. and I think myself and Wiz are the only two that have days named after us. Mm-hmm. And I released Comeback on that day.
It's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah. Woo! Now you know I had to come back to my city, baby. Pittsburgh, I'm here. None but love in the studio and good looks. King's Home. Frzy. Now you know we here in 5K. Burning up in this mud. Frzy. Yeah, man. Yo, welcome to my city, I'm home. I do it big, they gon' think that I'm grown. Yo, Tom Hanks, they won't leave me alone. Like Samsung, they still blow up my phone. I got my Emmy, brought it back to that 4-1, 2-1s. They like, you know, your boy won. Now they say I'm 0-1. Who messin' with them in the rap game? No one. They want peace, man, I bad like a lease. And now I got a day with my name on it. Picture that with no frame on it. Now I'm the cool cat with the mane on it. That 111, they done put some stranger things on it. Hey man, I'm fresher than them. Get them, they wanna dim them. But now it's all we like venom. Cause I got momentum, your bro sure like tourism. That I'ma come back cause the city needs him like some loose denim. Frzy. Now you know I'm here chilling with my girl Jamie. What up? What up, girl? Now you remember how they came back? We went to I think Spirit. It was lights and all that crazy. It was lit. But I guess it kind of touched my spirit. Makes sense. Slide them up. Frzy. I said I came back and went on Star One. Then conversed on the side like we Star One. A better day than that gon' be a hard one. Maybe when I get the key, now I'm ready, player one. Then I got a GT, man, that shit was free. I mean, that shit was me. I mean, that shit was everything it was supposed to be. The year 19, that shit can't even drink with me. And then Frzy.
But I know gold in it was something very special. So I have Frzy University, which is a thing I have when I'm working with a lot of young artists that are amazing, that I think are the next big things. And it's kind of like my own mini label underneath it, which we're working on distribution for that now. And one of the artists on there is Mace Tomlin, Mike Tomlin's son. Okay. A lot of people don't know his music. He's phenomenal. And he's also a producer. And we got together, and he, you know, the Steelers had reached out and was like, listen, you're making noise, we see you out here, we know you're a big Steelers fan, we love the joint forces with you, we're going to rock. So the fashion show, we've never had an artist do the finale.
Okay.
They've always had like different artists sing on the show, but like no one's ever closed the show because that's the NFL. Like, they have a lot of rules. They're like, we would love for you to close the show. I'm like, this is crazy. They're like, and we want you to do the Mr. Rogers segment in the middle. So I'm like, man, this is nuts. So then we next thing you know we get it in, we sit down. They're like, we want to do an original song. We want a new Black and Yellow,
right? Basically,
but we want something that like everybody can incorporate. And I was like, well, you know what? Gold is our color, but gold is also the color. I mean, it's the color of royalty. It's everyone's chasing gold.
Right.
So sat down, Mace Tomlin made it. We were at Farrakhay Studio. Shout out to Matt. And he made it.
Shout out Matt Farrakhay.
Shout out Matt Farrakhay. That's the home studio.
Oh, man.
And he killed it, man. Mace made that beat. He made like 4 beats. We have like behind the scenes footage of it. We started going into it. Next thing you know, we had something special. Came up with the hook. I was leaving for New York that night, so we just like recorded the hook. Left, came back, recorded it, shot it over to the Stillers. They loved it. They're like, yo, this is perfect. This is what we wanted. And then my boy D-Roy, who is a Grammy Award-winning producer in New York City, worked with Rock Nation. Amazing guy, man, with Art and Life Entertainment. I had sent him the beat. Like, I had sent him the song. Me and Mace wanted him to hear it. We got a Grammy. Give us your take. He sent it back with, like, new instruments. So he had added to it by surprising us.
Okay.
So now it was like, oh, my gosh, now... And this is something about collaborating. Now Mace and D-Roy are producers on the record.
Right.
Mace Tomlin, who is Mike Tomlin's son, who is attached to the Steelers, right? It has a legacy himself. And then D-Roy, who is literally a producer who did how many Jay-Z records, Grammys, is now on this record. And now me, an Emmy Award-winning artist. You're talking about a record with
a highly decorated record.
Come on, man.
Right.
That's now backed by the NFL. It's backed by the Steelers. So next thing you know, this record comes out. We do the photo shoot at Jay Koss, which is amazing big designer in New York City. Does stuff for everybody. Okay. Nelly, Diddy, dressed Diddy for one of the last award shows. We do the photo shoot at Jay Koss. My boy Matt O at Tidal does the photo shoot. I mean, like, it was just aligning so perfectly. Record comes out, the Steelers like, you know what, we're gonna put it, because we weren't gonna premiere it until I performed it at the Steelers Band.
Okay.
But the Steelers like, yo, this song is so dope, we're gonna put it in the commercial for the Steelers. I'm like, what? This is crazy. I'm in New York at this time. I'm like, this is crazy. They're like, we dropping it tomorrow. Like, oh, the song wasn't even like mastered yet. We're like, oh, wait, the song gotta be. We rush. Matt masters it, sends it to New York. D-Roy masters it. They master it at Universal. They send it back. Steelers put it out. I'm just like on the comments. Next thing you know, it's 50,000 views, 100,000, and people are in the comments quoting the lyrics, singing them, and then the rest is history.
Got gold in it, ay. My jeans got gold in it. My jersey 19 got gold in it, ay. My hat got gold in it. Plus the name on the back got gold in it, ay. My whole style got gold in it. Wear that towel if the thing got gold in it. Do it got gold in it? It do, 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 it do. It got gold in it. It do, 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 it do. It got gold in it. It do, 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 it do. It got gold in it. It do, it do, it do, it do.
You know what I mean? And now the song becomes the official song of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I remember my boy, I called Jew, we was chilling out, and it was playing on Monday Night Football. And it was like, yo, the next thing you know, you sit down, you go, oh, the Saints are gold too. So then it's playing at the Saints in New Orleans, and then it's playing at Golden State Warriors, so they're gold. And you start to realize, and then San Francisco's playing, you're like, oh, this is happening right now.
Right.
This is real.
They all got gold in it.
They all got gold in it. So now it became that thing, and you know, sitting down with Steve Madden, we're making custom shoes. I'm in the Steve Madden commercial in New York.
It's not enough just to make the cool shit. That's a half the job. You know, you gotta make the cool shit, and then you gotta get paid. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about.
Hustle is something that I think we all know very, very well.
And it is a grind, right? You have to have no feelings about it and just go.
We tend to get in our own way with our perfectionism. Sometimes you get paralyzed because you just want to be perfect all the time.
I put every ounce of myself into everything I do. I can't picture myself doing anything else.
Right. You're not asking for help. Your dream's not big enough.
Yeah.
Guys like Alex and me, we shouldn't be here. I was homeless with drugs and alcohol. Like, we're doing pretty good for like 2 dead guys, you know?
Yeah, I got really lucky, and then I kept showing up, and I love what I do, and I am very grateful.
That's what it's all about, right? Showing up is half of the battle. I worked hard, and now I can see that sunset, and if you can get to a place where you can enjoy your success, I think it's actually quite a gift.
Golden is in it. The record starts now. I'm learning also about my ISRC codes.
Right.
I'm learning about how to make sure everything's registered right with SoundScan and how it gets on the Billboard charts. Because you can be on the iTunes charts and not the Billboard.
Right.
So it was like oh, this is okay. Now we're sitting here, the label's breaking it down. We're going in, the DJs are playing in the club. This song is also a club record.
Mm-hmm.
We're breaking it down. Now I'm hand sending service packs out, which Chevy's teaching how many people about service packs right now? Like making sure
They're teaching people about
right.
service packs.
Come on, man, making sure it's like. So now we have the acapella, the instrument, the clean version, the dirty version. Here's the artwork. Here's where to put it at. And now these DJs that I know are getting closer. They're like, oh man, this is something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there it is. So then while that momentum's going, this is the momentum based off of also me having the Emmy now. We're going into it and it's like, okay, now let's continue to make a show. Now let's do something special. Now I have my own day.
Right.
So now
So talk about how you got your own day.
Yeah.
We're going to get into what happened on your own day.
Oh my
next.
God, dog.
So how did you end up with your own day?
I went in there.
My day's October 13th. That's my birthday. That's about all I got. And I
Hey, that's my
celebrate that
sister's birthday
by
too.
myself.
Hey, look, man. Like, God was showing off on that day. I see you. I see you. You know what I mean? It was perfect, man. I'm a big person into spirituality. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And my birthday is November 1st.
Okay.
1/11, All Saints Day. And the city was like, I won an Emmy. I honored in the parade. It's Frzy pandemonium everywhere. And they're like, the mayor, Tom Baker, and they're like, we want to name a day after you. We want to give you a day that no matter every day this year after you die, in the history of Pittsburgh, it will be Frzy Day. We're going to make it January 11th, which is literally my birthday reversed.
Right.
So it's all ones. Also on the top of me, one king. Also on the top of me, one number one person. Come on, right?
There it is.
So I'm surrounded by one. So Tom Baker gives it to me. We do it live when I hit up 100.7 Butler in the morning, which is big on intercom. And I'm like, yo, can we, this is what's happening. He's like, let's do it live on here. Let's premiere the song on it too.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Allegheny County Council member Tom Baker, do hereby declare Friday, January 11th, 2019, to be Frzy Day in Allegheny. Congratulations.
This is the same city that like I couldn't even go to the yacht club.
Right.
Right. Like there's spaces in this city that I couldn't go to, that now I can walk in backwards.
Right.
And it's like, wow.
Duquesne Club?
Oh, I'm in there. You know what I mean?
So I'm talking about,
man.
You made it when you going to the Duquesne Club. Look that up.
I got my own locker.
Spend some time looking that up.
You know what I mean? They don't know about the suit game. I'm out
Right.
here. Shout out to David Allen. You know what I mean? You got to be suited up. But yeah, so then it was like, we're going to give you your own day. We're going to do it live on the air on the number one radio show in the city. And it was huge, man. It was one of those things where it was like, okay, this is it. Even if I'm not around, even when I'm gone.
Right.
And also being who I am, being a young black man, educated, smart, well-spoken, understanding that who I am now, the brand that I create, is creating my generational wealth.
Right, and that's one of the things that we speak on in our inner circle is doing it for the last name, right? So doing it for the legacy. A lot of the stuff that we do is groundbreaking. It's innovative.
Yeah.
It's it goes against popular belief. It goes against what other people think you should be doing.
Exactly.
Yet we're using our abilities to be able to do it for our last names. We want to be able to leave a legacy that is a turnkey situation.
Exactly.
And I believe that we have to show you praise for pretty much, laying out the groundwork and the foundation. And I always take a moment to compliment, people who come on for just the effort and energy that they put into getting to a place. But I think in this regard, just to be able to reach the pinnacle. And I mean, I ain't gonna call it a pinnacle because I know you're not where you desire to be. However, but to be able to have, like you said, that legacy that no matter what happens, it's always going to be.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, brother. As a black man in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? That speaks volume. As a young black male, it serves as inspiration that others should, aspire to. I ain't gonna say be like, but aspire to chase your dreams. Because if you put the right work in, you can achieve. And
that's exactly.
Sometimes we need those living proof. We need those walking examples to be able to say, this is what it is. So again, hats off to you. Hats off.
You know what I mean? We out here, adjusting the hat. You know what I'm saying,
right? And then you did something absolutely unbelievable
dog.
The first
anniversary. The first anniversary of Frzy.
Again, one.
Come on, we out.
We staying with the one.
You know what I mean?
On the first anniversary
with the ET
of Frzy Day.
Yeah.
What the hell happened, bro?
Well, I promised myself that every year, no matter what, I'm going to do it for charity.
Okay.
Whatever I do to help enhance myself or enhance others past me. And I was like, man, we were sitting here, and people don't notice that, with Guinness, it takes months to set this up. We had this conversation in September, like August.
Well, actually, you had the conversation in June, July,
right.
And then
I was like, yo, I think I want to break the Guinness World Record.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody was like, yo, we were going through different things to do on that day. And I was like, I want to do it, but I want to do it big. Like the guy who had the record, kudos to him in Miami, but he did it in his living room with a laptop. His friends came through, right? But
what was his name? I forgot. But
I forgot too.
Domingo hit me up. Domingo, it was Domingo's partner. So when you won it, we went down there and did some footage and all that stuff there. So when I posted, he was like, "Oh, he coming for my man's title." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But when you did it, Domingo literally hit me up like, "Yo, bro, I had to tell him like, nigga, your shit just got broke," and he did it the right way.
Come on,
so I guess he knows what you was talking about.
Yeah.
So
because Guinness has rules. And they make it so basically you only have to rap rhythmically, so it doesn't even have to rhyme, and that means that you can like read scripts, you can perform your song, you can perform other people's songs, like you can do these different things. They give you the rules. To me, I was like, yo, this is cheating. This is not hip hop. This is not rapping.
Right.
I'm not going to read some nursery rhyme and then get an award and be the. That means I'm not the best in the world if I need somebody else's stuff to be the best in the world. That's not how it works. So I was like, we're going to freestyle for 31 hours. And I was like, we need to do it special, though. Like, I'm trying to do it in, let's do it in a mall. I was like, you can't have a mall open for 24 hours. Like, first of all, I can do whatever I want, for one. And it's about finding someone that believes in me, but understanding that from a marketing standpoint, from a branding standpoint, this is going to be huge for everyone attached.
Right.
Shout out to Jamie at the Block Northway, which is a gorgeous mall.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
I watched them do that renovation.
I heard it was over millions of dollars. They got that big screen in the back, and it was like they gonna let this is considered like an uppity mall.
Right.
They about to let hip hop in the building. Like we about to set the tone. So now
and I brought hip hop to the
building,
like real top.
You feel me?
When I walked in, I was just like.
Right, dog. It was like
you don't see that in North Hills.
That's what I'm saying.
My family lives in North Hills.
So
I know what we're dealing with up there.
Right?
I know what it really is.
And I mean, you had teams coming out, North Hill teams, these kids coming out rapping stuff with Frzy t-shirts on and on that chalkboard downstairs writing. I hit up Chef. I'm like, because they have rules where you can have a DJ playing, but the DJ can't go over 4 hours.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna go for 31. Like, Chef, can you get me 26 DJs? Or no, 14 DJs. Right. So you give me 14 DJs. He's like, all right, cool. And then like, what we gonna play? I'm like, let's get back to the city. Let's get 26 producers. Like 26 producers that will play 2 hours at a time, so their songs can be a part of history.
Right.
And then he put up a status and was like, we gonna see who's hungry. Because this is a chance for you to be a part of something that will go down in history. The Block agreed. Ford is my sponsor.
Right.
They brought my gold car out. Permani Brothers, Wahlburgers, like jewelry stores. Everybody in the city was just behind it. PNC Bank, Huntington. Like everybody's like, yo, Frizz, like we got you.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? We're gonna also do this because I work with the Grammy board, because I'll be up for a Grammy this year.
Dope.
I was like, I want to donate everything to Music Cares. It's the charity that helps all artists in need. Anybody from anywhere. If you have a house burned down, you got some struggles dealing with addiction, they put mental health.
Right.
All these things, it's like, we gonna give all the money to them.
Shout out Music Cares.
Shout out Music Cares. Because I'm not doing it for wealth. I'm doing it for my legacy.
Right.
Like I could, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, now we're going to sit down and we're going to put this together, and knowing that I trust and believe in myself. And that I can do anything I put my mind to. So let's show these kids, let's show this music scene, let's show Pittsburgh what we do. Right. And especially in Guinness, because Pittsburgh has done stuff for Guinness before. We've broken records before. And nothing against those records at all. They're great, but they're like biggest cookie cake and longest. Yeah, I think we did like a longest T-shirt category. Like stuff that's awesome and fun and cool. But as far as endurance goes, we haven't done anything like endurance body wise.
Right.
So it's like, okay, this is our chance to do it. And even some of the past people in Guinness that have won from the city all backed me up and embraced it. And I mean, we brought Pittsburgh out. You know, the mall made a substantial amount of money. Music here has made us thousands and thousands of dollars. And I became a legend.
You became a legend.
And that was
and not only did you become a legend just from doing it, but explain how you did it. Because there was some, like, you literally had to see what you had to do.
I seen it. Y'all.
I seen it.
You and Jay was there, like, you know what I'm saying?
What's going on, Steve from Grind Mode Music Worldwide? Listen, on my grind, live coverage. We are coming to you live from the Frzy Day 2020. My man King Frzy is attempting to break the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest freestyle. Joanna IIC Media is on it. Check it out.
Yeah. Hey, yo, mates, they nasty. Question. Yo, ring got gold in it. Everything that I bring got gold in it. Ay, my jeans got gold in it. My jersey 19 got gold in it. Ay, my hat got gold in it. What's the name on the back got gold in it. Ay, my whole style got gold in it. Wear that towel if the thing got gold in it. Do it got gold in it? It do. It got gold in it. It do. It got gold in it. It do. It got gold in it. Got gold on my seat. When I walk, got gold on my feet.
Look, we're here on my grind live interview. We bumped into a brainchild right here, the creative mind behind a lot of what's going on with Frzy, man. We got Matt Fire K from the prestigious Fire K Studio. Let them know about you, man.
Hey, good to see you. Good run into here, man. It is awesome to be here today. I mean, I get to work with Frzy a lot in the studio. I mean, it's a great studio over there in Baldwin. We got a nice space. It's very comfortable. Frzy loves it. Let's call it his second home. It's great to work at. But it's also nice to see him in this kind of situation where it's not pre-thought out. It's just him flowing. That's where he's always been the best. That's where he was always been the original freestyler. And it's really great to see him doing he's in his element tonight for sure. Glad to see this.
Word. Hey, for those of you who don't know, we do have studio time available at Fire K Studios, one of the best in the city, hands down. And you know, I've been to all of them. Definitely one of the best in the city. So, artists, if you're looking to get quality work from a quality engineer, quality production, come holler at my man Matt Fire K.
Yep, man, thanks. We'll treat you right.
Always. All right, man. Make sure you tune in to Grind Mode Music Worldwide, Grind Mode Worldwide Radio, on my Grind Live interviews, and Grind Mode TV to be able to see the biggest, most populous events in Pittsburgh, courtesy of Joanna IIC Media, Grind Mode Music Worldwide. Watch us work.
They are cheering as a world record in freestyle rap was set today in Ross Township. Harvey Frzy Daniels rapped for more than 31 hours at the Block Northway. Frzy started yesterday morning, rapped his way into the Guinness World Records just after 5 this evening. Congratulations.
Explain like what it took for you as a human to endure rapping nonstop for 31 hours. Like that's staying awake.
That's staying awake. That's not eating. That's not drinking.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. Dog. Oh man. Well,
tell us about the ring pop and the bucket.
Oh my gosh! Listen, because you know about that,
yes.
Right? So people don't know. So it's a mental. Like it's not at this point. We're past bars, right? It's evolving. Right. You have to evolve into something that doesn't exist. The type of people are like, I got bars for days. I really got bars for days. You know what I'm saying? 2 sunsets, pushing and being like, I had to shout out to UPMC. They did a study on me, which is great. They're going to be publishing a study on my body and making sure that they were there with me in the beginning. I went for checkups. They, went down, checked me out at the Voice Center. Dr. Jackie, Dr. Seuss really helped me out. They were there for every break as well. They studied me afterwards, making sure I was conditioned. I go to the gym a lot. I work out a lot. So making sure my body was conditioned ready. I fasted the whole thing. I just drunk juice, which in that rap, you only have 5 seconds in between words to like eat or drink. So I knew like with freestyling and mentally doing that, I had to like just drink really quick and keep going. But also being inspired. Like I always tell people, I got a chance to peek into God's dictionary that night.
Right.
Because I was like, you're just, everything around you is active. It took me like 3 days to turn it off because I was still, like I could have went 33. I stopped at 31 because I got emotional with my mom and my nephew. But it was like,
And I read that too. Yeah. I think the first, I'm not sure if it was WPXI. But one of the news outlets, that was their report. Like,
yeah, they were like, he
would have kept going, but he got emotional.
I was going to, but like seeing the mix of faces, seeing the kids, like there were kids leaning up against the thing, just like watching and all. And then when I grew up, like posting pictures, I was people's profile pictures, the backgrounds. They were quoting some of the freestyle. He rapped about me. He talked about me. Like people were donating just the whole and it was like something that was like, man, we were bringing happiness on a level and to push through. But like Jay was saying, there was a moment, I think it was 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and I hadn't eaten anything. I'm rapping. I had a throne there, which shout out my assistant Ann set that up for me. And I'm rapping, and I'm sipping, and so people know, yes, in the rules you get a 5-minute break every hour, but that if you don't use that 5 minute, it accumulates.
Okay.
So I was rapping for like 7 hours straight, and then taking like a 15-minute break, or taking like a 20-minute break, and then going back in for another 8 hours, then taking effect. So my breaks were, so I wasn't like breaking. Everybody keeps thinking I was breaking every 5 minutes. That's not how it works. But also controlling your bladder, right? So you gotta think I'm drinking a lot. By like the 17th hour, I'm drinking every maybe 5 minutes, taking a quick sip because my throat is starting to dry out.
Right.
So at this point, I feel myself starting to go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. I'm pacing. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm moving. But I'm at this point too. It's dark, so my body, the ancestry in my body is telling me it's time to go to sleep. I'm a micro sleeper anyway, so I only sleep 4 hours a night. So I was cool pushing through, but at this point, it's starting to silk in. Luckily, I think at this point in time, you guys show up, right? Which is great. Every time somebody new popped up to show support, it was great because it gave me a new boost. But there's like, I have these smoothie packs in front of me that are like set up. My nutritionist worked that out for me. I'm like, okay, I can take a couple sips of this. I'm good.
Right.
I take a thing, but because my body hadn't eaten anything, it automatically wanted to poop. Right? Like, let's just keep it all the way real. I had to poop. And I was like, now I have to pee. So now picture yourself on a road trip and you feel that in your stomach. That turns into cramps.
Let me tell you something. I got irritable bowel syndrome.
So
and we travel a lot.
Come on.
They know what happens.
Right.
Straight out.
Right.
All right, come on, back on the road again.
So like that, dog. Come on, man. So now I'm at this point now where I have to sit because now I have to pee. I have to poop. My body's hurting. I'm hungry. I'm trying to stay awake, and I'm freestyling. So I'm creating this content consistently. If I leave now to go on a break, I can take a 5-minute break. But that means I gotta go downstairs, poop, pee, maybe eat something, and get back upstairs. Been 5 minutes, it's not happening.
Right.
So now I have a choice to make. I can risk it all, because if I don't make it back by my break, I'm disqualified. It's over. Or I can hold till I get my 15-minute break. So I look at everybody and I go, when's my 15-minute break? I'm rapping, so I'm talking while I'm rapping, which y'all saw.
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, that's how I have to have conversations. And they're like, it's 4:30. They go, your break's not until 6. So at that moment, I'm like, I have an hour and a half. And at this point, it hurts. I'm crying because like, I can't stand up because I know I have to go so bad. Now the cramps it's pain. I'm holding my pee and I'm freestyling. And I have no choice.
Right.
So I had to close my eyes. I close my eyes. I'm crying while I'm rapping, and I think Chevy was. I'm talking to myself. There's a point in the recording where I'm rapping to myself, right? Because I'm telling myself like, it's worth it. This pain will make you a legend. Like this is something no one's ever done. Show them that it can be done. They're believing in you. It's like don't let them down for a bathroom break.
I remember that.
Right?
I remember that.
And I'm spitting to myself. I'm in this zone where like nothing else matters. And I always tell somebody I felt the brightest in my darkest hour. And now it's like something special to me. And then that 6 o'clock break came. The doctors were there and they had to like help me down the steps because my bladder was so sore that I couldn't like walk down the steps by myself. And then we did it, man. And it turned into that. And once we made it past that, the doctors took me outside. I started boxing in the rain. They had me doing jumping jacks and doing all this stuff to get ready. I came back upstairs and we were at the home stretch at that point. We had like 10 hours left at that point. The rest is history.
Rest is literally history. Literally history. So, in that, I think that there's like a couple, key points that I just want to make. Not only were you dealing with, the physical challenge.
Yes.
Of just everything that you had to endure, but literally you were freestyling.
Yes.
Not coming up with a whole bunch of rhymes that I pre-wrote.
Yep.
Like when we walked in, it was instant, hey, here y'all go.
Yeah,
but one of the things that you did that I thought was absolutely phenomenal in the time frame that I was there is when the people that you do came in that was in vacation in Australia.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, hey, welcome back. I'm glad y'all made it back from Australia. And you came and did your plan. And I'm glad y'all got out of there because now the land is burning.
Right.
And I'm like, whoo! Not only are you dealing with all of that, but you're doing it like with just it was just dope. It was just pure dopeness.
It means a lot.
And so we were there, we were covering,
Yeah.
and I just felt like, I think that people needed to know what's going on with Frzy and everything behind what you're doing.
And I just want to say thank you personally for you guys taking the time to come out.
No
you know
doubt.
what I mean? Because especially as a black publication, especially as somebody that's in these streets and has been with me during my journey, and to climb that mountain with me and not be afraid to breathe and stand there with me. You know what I mean? It meant a lot, man. So I love you guys to death for that, man. We're always going to be connected, and I always going to have respect for you guys for that.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. Well, anything we can do, let me know. We're here.
Hey, dope, man.
All right.
Appreciate it, baby. Appreciate it.
Make sure you shout out your social media where they can follow you.
Yeah, man. It's Frzy, man. FRZY. That's it. It's Frzy everywhere. So, and the goal is for Frzy to be everywhere, man. So thank you guys for rocking out, man, and taking the time to listen and really finding out the gears and everything that makes, that puts me in the grind mode, man. You guys mean a lot, and I love you guys, and I love Pittsburgh hip hop, and I love hip hop in general, and I promise you I will continue to do better.
Shout out Joanna IIC Media for holding us down with the
visuals,
the pictures, the whole nine.
Yeah, man.
If anybody is interested in sponsoring On My Grind, definitely email us at gmwwradio@gmail.com, or you can hit us at info@grindmodemusic.com. Make sure y'all follow Frzy, man. This guy is on the rise. I mean, he's just the truth, man.
Yeah, man.
And as you can see, a very humble and very passionate and deliberate beast. And for those of you who kind of know me, like y'all know, like that spirit God is important.
Come on, man.
And you got to be very deliberate in your approach and what it is that you do. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you everything.
Thank
Love you
so
too,
much,
man.
Absolutely.
And let's get it, man.
Let's get it.
Let's see what's gonna happen next Frzy Day.
Hey, come on, baby.
All right.
That was awesome. That was great, man.